when I was young, I used to work in the Castle Coffee House in Farnham in Surrey. I had a job as a waitress. And a really nice couple used to come in every single Saturday, and I used to serve them. And they had a daughter who was anorexic. And they always seemed kind of sad and really concerned and worried permanently about their daughter. And a little bit later on, when I was at sixth form college, a group of us, as part of our Spanish course, went to Spain. And it turned out that this couple's daughter was friends with another girl in my Spanish class. And the girl actually ended up coming with us to Spain. And I always remember she was very, very thin, and always she seemed kind of sad. And wherever she was, she wasn't happy. We used to sit on this beautiful beach in Spain with the sun pouring down, and she'd sit there looking sad and wish she was in France. And I think that somehow stuck in my subconscious. And then when I came to write my novel Betrayed, in which the main character, Charlotte Adams, suffers from an eating disorder herself, from bulimia, I think that kind of memory from my teenage years had stuck and came out in the writing of the novel, albeit subconsciously. The girl who I met when I was young, her anorexia was triggered off by her sister's death, which was in a car crash. And I wasn't conscious of this when I wrote the novel. It's just looking back about the creative process. I think this must have stuck in my mind and come out. Because Charlotte Adams is a translator. She's a very clever girl. She's very beautiful, but everyone else thinks she is, but nobody, she doesn't think so herself. She has a very low self-image, low self-esteem. And she gets a job translating a series of clay fragments in the New University of Jerusalem. And she's trying to escape from her memories. Her sister was killed in a car crash, and she always felt that her sister Sally Ann was the popular one. She was the one who made her parents proud, and there was this kind of guilt that her sister had died in the car crash and she was still alive. And as the novel progresses, Charlotte falls in love with one of the archaeologists working in the New Jerusalem University. And he's seen a lot of girls with eating disorders, and he actually, although she tries to cover it up, he twigs quite quickly. And there's quite a nice scene, which one of the agents who looked at my book was very keen on, where Ben and Charlotte are sitting in a cafe, and he's trying to persuade her to eat all these Jerusalem delicacies. And she is concerned about her figure the whole time and her eating disorder. She's battling it and desperately trying to fight it. And he's pushing her all this delicious stuff, and she's trying to push them back again. So I didn't actually know anything about anorexia and bulimia and other eating disorders until I started researching for this book. I just knew the basics of it, but I had to go into it really deeply. I read a lot of case studies and I used them for Charlotte. And I think as the novel progresses, the novel features Charlotte uncovering various secrets of the Lost Ark of the Covenant and a secret power source, and also a form of Dead Sea mud, which is very, very rejuvenating. And Charlotte ends up pursued by all kinds of people for these secrets, which are detailed in the tablet she's translating. And I think as the novel progresses, the eating disorders almost get kind of sidelined by her, because she ends up in fear of her life, and she is pursued by the very ruthless female owner of a multi-million-pound pharmaceutical company, who is desperate for these secrets of rejuvenation, which the fragments of clay tablet she's translating actually talk about. And of course she's quite envious of this beautiful, rich pharmaceutical owner, who is actually very, very ruthless. But Charlotte ends up almost kind of, her eating disorders, she actually conquers them, because she realises that the plight of the Palestinian people, who she becomes very involved with, and her own situation where life becomes what's important, cause her, I think, to help overcome these eating disorders. So it was very interesting to me as I wrote the novel that I kind of used this process maybe drawing on the anorexic girl I knew when I was young, and then following it through in Charlotte, who by the end of the book appears to have conquered her eating disorders.